I think as a leader on the floor in basketball, I think it's important to make your teammates comfortable. If your teammates are like really nervous, it's hard for them to perform. If you're really nervous, it's hard for you to perform. Now, it's good to know what you can do and what you can't do, but you want your teammates to be able to make the shots that, are in their repertoire the next time that shot comes up. So this comes to mind because of a pickup game I played last week, and it comes up in pickup especially, but in any kind of team. Longer teams, more established teams might be easier because you have more time to work with these guys and adjust, but I played with this guy who is extremely distrustful of everyone, and I would say that he was not the most skilled player on our team. He was probably the least skilled. He was playing as a guard, and he was consuming a fair amount of possessions with whack shots. And I didn't necessarily want to discourage that because we need him to be aggressive to win on defense. And I mean, that maybe means allowing him to be attacking on offense. Anyways, I didn't like playing against. I didn't want to play with him that much because I had never played with him before, but I had played against him many times, and I had observed him basically railing on his teammate that he comes down with, just yelling at him. And what he ends up doing is the game gets very tight, I imagine it was something around 10-10 or 8-8. We're playing 2 11s, a win by 2. And in an organized game, you can imagine it's a close game in the fourth quarter. And I'm bringing the ball up, right? And he says something along the lines of, "Let's get a good one! Let's get a good one!" And the implication here is that I'm going to force it or something. It's not going to be a good one. Now, we do want a good one, obviously, but that's assumed, Maybe call it the play or something is more useful. But I just look at him from across the court, and I'm like, well, shit, this is not the social situation we want to be in right now. And, he would say things throughout the game such as, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, or easy passes, easy passes, easy passes, that kind of a thing where it's like he's very distrustful, and he's very nervous when his teammates have the ball, which makes us nervous. As humans, we have empathy. The science for empathy is mirror neurons, stuff in our brain that makes us feel the emotions of the people around us. So when this teammate is very nervous, it makes us nervous. If he's distrustful, if he has no confidence in us, we can lose confidence in ourselves. And I saw this happen. Our team is very good, skilled. We should win, but our teammate often loses, and I felt that he made guys on our team uncomfortable and nervous, and we didn't get good ones, and we ended up losing. And I think the alternative of this is like saying stuff like "good shot" when your teammate takes a good shot. I don't know, I think being trusting. Victor, you been listening at all?
Yeah.
You have anything that you want to add? I mean, you played point guard. You were a coxswain. For those of you guys who don't know what a coxswain is, it's in rowing. It's the guy who's basically the vocal leader. So, I mean, yeah. Vic knows a bit about encouragement and.
Well, I mean, the key is to just know what all your teammates can do, and then play to their strengths. I mean, in basketball, in rowing, generally everyone's strengths are the same. But in basketball, you just want to facilitate what your teammates want to do with their game, and just try to play around that and let them get the shots that they want to get.
Sure. What about like vocal cues? You're really loud on the court, and I don't hear you saying stuff like, "Careful, careful," easy, oh, careful passes,
you don't want to publicly berate your teammates about things like that. It won't encourage them to change it. It'll just make them start arguing with you.
Yeah.
So you want to go up to them and say things like that.
It'll make them nervous as well, if you're nervous.
Yeah, I mean, up close, for things that you're going to yell to everyone on the court, it's got to be all positive stuff. Especially if the other team is having internal dissension, then you want to capitalize on that by showing how much better your team chemistry is.
Yeah, you don't want to show weakness, your team, against their team, because that gives them confidence. seeing that you're arguing amongst yourselves as well.
Yeah.
So there's just so many bad things about it. And I mean, what do you think about handling a player like this? Because for me, I don't like playing with this player, and that's only the first time I have, but he's a friend of a friend, so it may come up again.
Okay.
But I find him to be like, he's not, I mean, I tried talking to him, he's not open to
change.
Well, he wants to be he wants to coach, but he doesn't want to be coached. I'm fine being coached. I like to coach too, right? So, I mean, my solution thus far is to avoid playing with this person, but I mean, say that you're locked in on a team with this person. What would you do in that situation?
I would just override everything they say. So whenever he would say something sort of mistrustful, just immediately come in and say the exact opposite. So then, I mean, because if he's saying things that are irritating your other teammates, then you're by countering that, then you're going to get all of them on your side. And so then at that point, then everyone's just going to dislike him and listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, but then you have an issue where there's one guy, 1 out of your 5 is disliked, and you know, like there's going to be chemistry problems no matter what. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you try to talk to him and they're not willing to, to adjust what he's talking about to his teammates. I mean, what I would, if he wasn't the best player on the team, then I'd really take issue with that. I would.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was taking bad shots.
I'd be like, dude, you're not. And I would just tell him. I would go hard on him. I'd be like,
okay,
dude, you're not
like
any good. You're not the best player out here. Stop acting like it. Just cut all that negative shit out, because you're not even you're bringing the whole team down with your play and your attitude.
I like that. That can be hard to do at times. So here's my approach. I think you'll find this humorous, and you guys will find this humorous. Originally, I was going to do something like that. I was going to say, like, yo, you need to have more confidence in everyone because you're going to negatively affect us emotionally, right? And I was going to say that, but I was like, what if I take kind of an opposite approach, be very encouraging? And in specific, this guy was setting like pretty horrible away screens, pin downs. For whatever reason, I was never getting open when he would set me one. He would like set me one, but he would like
walk over.
Set it at an angle where he wasn't laying any wood on the defender. So I was like, you know what? I'll make a point to set like an awesome screen for this guy and just like, you know, show him what's going on. So ball's at the point, and I'm like, come up. I set him a screen, right? For him to go around and get the ball in a great position. I said like mean screen, but instead he goes inside of the screen
and wasted it.
Yeah, wasted essentially, so that there's 2 defenders on him for a moment, right? And you know, well, neither of us are open because there's 2 defenders in between me and him, unless they throw like an over-the-top pass, right? So I mean, next time down the court, I was like, or I said something like, "Yo, use my screen" or whatever. You know, the whole point was I was trying to like help, you know, show him that I'm down to work with him.
Exactly.
But then he said, he's like, I did that on purpose. I didn't want the screen or something. And I was like, why would you? I don't know. So
he's just a bad kid.
I guess so. But you have to play with these people. It comes up. So I think that your approach is right. Just being very aggressive and straightforward and say, you need to stop talking. I mean, negativity is coming out of your mouth, and we're trying to win right now.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about any sport is that, and you know, it's like the person who's playing the best for the team has the last say. So it doesn't matter if you're making the most points or whatever, but if you're passing, playing good defense, then the team is just going to defer to you. Like I don't know how I really. You kind of just have to. It's hard. It's part of just playing in that sort of situation where you have to like get people to listen and all kind of cohese as a unit, even when they don't know each other. But this guy, you just kind of get. You play the best. You just lead by example, basically. So if you're always the one being positive and always the one giving encouragement to your teammates, and you're always hustling the hardest, and you're playing the best.
All right. Here's a situation. I agree with you on that. Here's a little stickier situation.
Can we walk?
Okay, we're gonna walk so we can collect these balls. Here's a stickier situation. Okay, we're playing with our friend Nathan, and I was playing with. Our team was pretty good. I was playing with my friend Kyle. Kyle was a great player. Played AAU for, the whole way through high school. Was a solid varsity player. He had injuries and, lost the athleticism to go Division I. But, he's still extremely skilled, really cerebral guy. And we always win when we play together at the IMA, right? It's not a question. We just dominate, right? That's just the way it is. Anyways, we're playing with our friend Nathan. And Nathan is like very distrustful of everyone. He's, doing this kind of thing where he's like very upset if a pass doesn't come on time. Mad. He gets mad if the pass doesn't come at the right moment. And such, and he's taking a lot of shots, and after the first couple games, my perception is that we're winning despite him, because we would win regardless of whether we had him. Just me and Kyle and with our other teammates, we play together all the time. We would win without him. And we were winning despite him because he was forcing these shots and getting mad at us. It makes it harder to win. But as the games went on, he would consume more and more possessions, and he was producing the most points for the team. This is definitely true. And he had a decent efficiency, but this is more a matter of him as we play 5-6 games or whatever, kind of railing on people and, taking more shots. And our perception slowly changes from we're winning despite him, and he's asserting his perception is we're winning solely because of him, right? And I tell him that I kind of explain to him how I feel, how the nervousness or whatever that he has when his teammates have the ball affect us negatively. And he, asserts kind of what you say, where he says, I'm the best player out here. He said that, I'm producing the most. And then, kind of what he says goes to an extent because he is producing the most points for our team and we are winning. So in this situation, I find this one was really sticky dealing with.
Okay.
So what do you think?
There's going to be some sour apples, every once in a while. I just like to tell those guys to relax. In Nathan's situation, because he played varsity for Garfield, he's used to a certain quality of play, and certain timing and certain rhythm to the game. But it can be so it can be frustrating going to a game where things aren't exactly happening like you want, or you're too good for the game.
Yeah, but my perception is that wasn't true.
Right, exactly.
Like
right.
Kyle has more experience than him, and is the player, that he is. And my perception is I know how to work with all these guys. I know how to play. I didn't play varsity in high school, but that was 4 years ago, and I've been training this entire time, right? It's not just that he's better than me. And to go on that, I don't really think that. In some situations there is a best player on the team, but often there's a best shooter on the team, there's a best dribbler on the team, there's a best rebounder, and so forth. So to think that you're the best player doesn't really make very much sense.
Yeah, I just like to tell. I would just tell somebody who's just really upset about that. Oh, brilliant. Just to relax.
Sure, and you do that, and they get angry, right? Because that's the reaction, and that's difficult because you're familiar with mirror neurons and empathy and all that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Someone's getting angry. It's hard to not get angry back, right? I guess the key is to maintain emotional control and try to remain calm even when they aren't, right?
Yeah. There's really only so much you can do. If somebody's really getting that frustrated, then just get off the team that you're on with them as soon as possible.
Yeah, but what if you don't necessarily, what if this team wins and you don't really necessarily have another option, right? Isn't it better to find a way to resolve this?
Well, then talk to them in between games. Just be like, really what you need to do is just pander to how they're thinking if you want to just quickly resolve it. You need to swallow your pride for the sake of solving the argument. So even if you're right, if you want to solve the argument, you have to be willing to, say some things that you don't mean. So, people are in those types of situations because of their egos anyway. So just play to that and just be like, everyone's trying their best. Try to be a little more encouraging to the guys, and they'll be able to properly utilize your skills. they say something like that, where they feel like you're acknowledging their superiority.
That's true. Okay, I think I figured it out.
Is just, you know.
Okay, here's what I think the key is to it, actually, for both these situations. I think the key is acknowledging that as a human being, we will feel empathy, right? We're gonna mirror their emotions, and controlling that. If you realize, oh, right, the only reason that I would get angry or nervous or uncomfortable here is because of this person feeling that way, and when you realize that, you're kind of emotionally freed from that, right? The first guy's nervousness, just you can override that, and the second guy's anger, you can just override that. If you're just to maintain your emotion and don't let that infect you at all. I feel like that's the key.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, you might not always be angry just because the other person's angry. I get angry when people make poor decisions on the basketball court sometimes. But if you are angry with them for doing it, then they will get angry.
Sure, yeah.
But anger can start from a number of things, among them poor players on your team.
Yeah, I think emotional control is the key.
So
just acknowledging empathy and mirror neurons, and
ultimately you have to realize that you're playing a game. So, you know, you're doing this for fun, supposedly, unless you're a professional, in which case, you know, people will get angry at their teammates for messing up more so than, you know, justifiably so.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole point here is that anger in game, or just, you know, distrust and such, it doesn't contribute to winning.
Oh no, definitely not.
Yeah. So I mean, this is about kind of how to win more.
Actually, okay, no. There's a difference between distrust and knowing what your teammates are good for. If you find that one of your teammates is taking a bunch of three-pointers and can't shoot, then it's not mistrustful to pass him the ball when he's on the wing, right? That's just a good decision if you want to win the game. So if you once you figure out what your teammates are good for, then you can you know, start deciding what is and what isn't distrustful and giving them the ball.
Well, I mean more in vocal cues than anything.
Right. Well, I mean, again, if your teammates are prone to doing stupid things, then it's not mistrustful to try to advise them not to do it. But,
sure. Yeah, I mean, there are times to say we don't need that shot. Let's get a better one. Yeah, I mean, there are times where I mean, okay, I have a flashback. Here's something that I'll say sometimes. If a teammate is, you know, forcing crossover pull-ups every time or whatever, right? I mean, oftentimes this person is a good shooter if they're open, and that's why they're doing it. They're like, you know, I can knock this down, I'm just gonna cross this guy and shoot it. And I'll say, I know you can shoot, let's get you an open one next time, right? Yeah. And that is saying that I trust in them while guiding the team and towards, you know, better shot selection at the same time.
Yeah. Or you could be like, you could say, hey, you just be like, let me set you a screen on that one next time.
Yeah.
Something like that, where they're still doing what they want to do, but just in a better way.
Rather than just getting mad that they're taking a bad shot or something, they're gonna get mad at you, and that's gonna cause problems. Like, you don't really want them shooting that shot, but you still want them shooting. They're good for something. You gotta find out what that is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Those are some thoughts.
It's literally entirely about how you say things.
Yes.
You can say anything.
It's about the emotion. I feel the emotion behind what you say.
Exactly right. That's exactly. That, I mean, you can. And I mean, the thing that I like to do is, as far as leadership goes, is you just kind of let it happen naturally. So like, there was a game at the IMA where I had 11 assists in a game to 11. So in that game, my teammates started deferring to me because they quickly realized that I'd be passing the ball.
Yeah.
And so if your teammates know that all you want to do is win and you don't care about like selfish goals, they'll be much more prone to listen to you.
Yes.
If you're the guy shooting a lot and trying to give advice, then people are gonna be like, well, fuck this guy. He's already doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting his shots up, whatever. However people like deem their experience like good, what have you.
Anyways,
just try to be the most, contributive player on your team, and your teammates will naturally listen to you.
Sure. Yeah, I think those are some keys to winning. and just having more fun playing basketball, how to deal with troublesome opponent or teammates, and how to be the floor leader, and a lot of that is emotional control, I feel. So that's how we feel at Energy Efficient Basketball.
It's my girth.